Five, four, three, two, one. We are live. Hello and welcome to PropTechBuzz, a business podcast on global PropTech, where we talk to PropTech founders, CEOs, and investors from PropTech industry and learn from them how to build and launch successful PropTech businesses. Talking about businesses, we have an exciting guest today, Leena Vesterinen. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. She's the co-founder and CEO of Asette. It's a simplified property investing for everybody, and I'm gonna let Leena explain what Asette is. But before we invite Leena formally, this is a request to all our listeners out here that you have showered a lot of love in the last several months. We have hit a subscriber base of around 2,000 followers now, which is still less, but given the niche content that we are in PropTech, I think this is a good milestone. But keep the love showering. Keep hitting that like and subscribe button, because the more people like and subscribe, the more audience we reach out to. We are also on Spotify, so just go to Spotify, search for PropTechBuzz, and follow us there, and leave kind reviews if you really like the content, because we know there are lots of listeners who are repeat listeners who come over our podcast to get to learn from these fascinating speakers that we are getting from all over the globe. With that, let's welcome Leena again. Leena, welcome to PropTechBuzz. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Ravi, and thank you for inviting me. Very exciting to be talking to you and your audience today. And of course, hello, everybody, whoever is listening and seeing us today. Um, Hello from sunny Dubai. Here we are. And a little bit about myself. And I'm Leena Vesterinen. I'm actually originally from Finland.
Ah,
Um, and I actually lived in UK for over half of my life before I
oh, wow.
moved to Dubai 5.5 years ago with my family.
Nice.
So actually, uh, background is that, and I'm the CEO and founder of Asette, and my passion really goes with real estate. My family has background into construction, and although I'm a technologist and innovation specialist myself,
Mhm.
uh, real estate has always been my love. And
Mhm.
of course, my huge passion for innovation. And also, I am investor myself, so it links me quite well into this industry as well.
Nice.
So,
Nice. Lena, so do not worry. I've just given the focus to you, so I've not gone. I'm still here.
okay. Yes, I was looking.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
help us understand, Lena, your transition story of building Asset. What led you to build Asset? Um, I'm very fascinated whenever I talk to founders and CEOs, the inception story of their idea of the business.
Yes. So, um, basically, it all stemmed from my own observations, my own experience, and also the problem we started to observe in the market itself. So basically, one day, friends were looking for investing in properties all over the world, having moved to new market in Dubai and looking at the property market, especially the hugely growing off-plan and the primary market here.
Right.
It was so evident that there is so many complex processes, so manual interventions in this industry, and it was immediately evident that something had to be done. We had to find a way to solve problems for the end users, the investors themselves, because a lot of industry is focusing on brokerages or enhancing otherwise the construction industry systems. But
Yeah.
we felt that there was too little love given to the end users, the investors.
Mm.
And we said, let's take this opportunity. Let's go on a mission to simplify property investing, where we can give them all the needed information and tools to make informed decisions themselves. And basically, as a professional coming to the region, to Dubai, 5.5 years ago, I was member of a Karim Mafia, as we call it here. Karim is one of the unicorns in the region, which
Ah,
was yeah, and they got acquired by Uber a couple of
nice.
years ago. So this was one of the reasons, or the main reason we came to the region. And although I had this technology and product background, but once we started to merge it with my initial team, with our expertise in actually looking at real estate and investing in properties, it was quite like a natural progression from technology to this where we are today in Asette, building Asette, a simplified property investment platform for off-plan market.
Nice. You said you were part of Karim's team, is it?
Correct, yes. So I joined Karim in 2018
Ah, nice.
in the kind of product design function,
I see.
worked
Nice.
a couple of years in the new vertical businesses, helping in propositions of new markets and new product propositions. And then the journey kind of in Middle East started from there.
You mentioned about Karim Mafia. How many startups emerged out of Karim?
I honestly cannot even tell you anymore. It's if it's not in hundreds, but
Wow.
it could be. Yeah, it's probably hundreds. I'm not saying all of them are in the
Yeah, yeah,
up
yeah,
curve,
yeah.
but there is
Wow.
a lot,
Wow. 100 is huge.
hundreds,
So that
hundreds.
means
I think yes.
that means Karim must have attracted a lot of good leaders and talents from all over the place, isn't it?
I think one of the thing for most of us, I think, was that we had a lot of ownership. And I
Hmm.
think the companies giving ownership to their people
Right.
stimulated this entrepreneur visit. And
Okay.
although I was entrepreneur before, twice before establishing Asset, I believe that this kind of regional experience with a unicorn has helped me and many of the other Karimas, ex-Karimas in the startups and their business careers.
Got it.
Yeah,
Excellent. So thank you for explaining the problem space. Okay, let's now go to the solution space. Let's understand what kind of a product asset is, what is the kind of experience, how it is elevating the experience, and how it is solving for the users on their user side of the journey. So why don't you give us a lowdown of what asset experience is for the customers?
of course. So let me kind of revise again about the problem space a little bit more so it becomes
Sure.
clearer for all
Yeah.
our watchers and listeners.
Yeah.
So if you put yourself in the investor's shoes,
Right.
what do you go through? Either in buying a secondary market or off-plan market. It's same for everybody. You have a lot of different systems, portals, online listings. You have many people in the industry, advisors, brokers, you name it.
Right.
So your journey through this maze of people and systems, it gets complicated.
Hmm.
And what we realized once we started to talk more and more to end users, the property investors all over the world, is that there was a lot of commonalities, not only in Middle East, but elsewhere. If you were to look to invest in a new location
Hmm.
within your own country or abroad, finding reliable information was impossible.
Hmm.
It was very inconsistent and it was always a bit biased.
Hmm.
So this leads us to what Asset solution really is aiming to do,
Hmm.
is to allow investors firstly to profile themselves through our platform. So they register to our system, they build their investment profiles, and based on those profile parameters, we will be able to match them in personalized way to the properties which would be most profitable but match with their parameters such as their affordability or their other needs or requirements.
Hmm.
And in Asset Portal, what is the key here is that the problem really in the complexity has been that people spend months in researching, analyzing, and making a decision on a property. So our promise is that we automate this for you. We wrap your analysis in a way that it's very consumable and understandable. And we cut that 3 months of your time and the hours of analyzing and building spreadsheets into minutes. So at the moment, we are in an MVP phase, which is that we have just recently launched. We have built the basic foundation for this. So we will be able to match you with the properties in off-plan in the primary market. And then from there, you can go into finding the ideal property for you, which could return the best investment for you.
You use the term repeatedly, off plan. What does it mean?
So off-plan properties, this is a very good question. It is still a bit difficult for many people. Off-plan is the constructed or in construction of properties. So they are not ready. They are only starting the construction now, and they are ready in maybe 2 or 4 years' time, between 2 to 4 years' time. So this is a huge market as itself. Just to give you an idea of the market in Dubai alone, in 2022, 49% of all the off-plan property investors and buyers were actually millennial, digitally savvy generation.
Wow.
They were 27 to 42 years of age, but 49%, which equivalents over $10 billion in market value.
Wow.
So what we are seeing now is that the off-plan investing, it's known for some people better than the others. And one of the Asette's objective is also to educate people that the new shiny buildings in Dubai, they are not all only very expensive. Actually, Dubai, one bedroom in a prime location, is still half of the price in most cases than, for example, London. So the off-plan investing is a way to get potentially newer generations and younger generations who are now getting wealth to invest with super good payment plans, because the property developers facilitate this. So our objective is to bring digitized services for this segment, this growing segment of people.
Got it. And so does your offering, so you there is no shared investing here, right? So this is individual investors. Am I right?
So at the moment, it's individual investing.
Right.
But we make it accessible from very small budget to very large budget, so that our portal hosts at the moment already 30 property developers and their inventories. That means that when we're doing the matching, we are growing our inventory, that one day, whatever price category you are looking, we will be able to match property for you. And it's not only about finding the property, it's to find the most profitable property and potentially the most profitable property for you.
Got it. So an interesting nuance here. You are not calling it buyers, you are calling it investors, isn't it?
Correct. Correct.
And you are talking about retail investors. You're not talking about institutional investors. Am I right? Individual retail investors.
So at the moment, our market segment is retail investment.
Got it.
And focusing on quite specific segments and serving them. Of course, our roadmaps include more wider range of things. However, this is what we are serving as of today.
Got it. And that's why I said there's an interesting nuance. You're not saying property buyers, you're calling them investors. Is there a particular reason why you're calling them investors? Are you looking at certain profile of your customers who are looking for this property ownership as a means to invest rather to buy and live by themselves? Is there a nuance? Is there a deliberate nuance there?
Yeah. That's a really good question, and thank you for asking that. Basically, we believe, and what we try to educate people into, is that everyone who has money or wants to put their money into a real estate or property, they need to look at it in a mindset of an investment. Even if your home, you want to have the sea view and you want to have certain amenities and certain things around you, but why not select a property to live in, which most likely will return you the best investment in the future.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's to change this mindset of people that it's not anymore emotional alone, because a lot of people make emotional decisions. You
Right.
would be surprised how many investors make emotional decisions.
Mm.
Yes, and this is it. We don't say that emotions are not good. We are just saying be mindful of the investment data. Maybe check the data, then make your decision.
Mm. Got it. Let's come stick to off-plan properties. So you said that there are
Yes,
in construction properties that are
correct.
that are. Why is in construction properties more attractive? Are they available at better price points? Or could you? I mean, I still didn't get
Yes,
why, because
yes,
you said millennials and digital savvy demographic. What is the
yes.
connection between millennials, digital savvy demographic, and in construction properties?
Nice. So of course, we are not ruling out other type of properties
Mm-hmm.
yet. Today, we want to master the off-plan market
Mm.
locally, regionally, and globally as well. However, there is multiple reasons why someone may invest in off-plan versus secondary market. Number one
Mm.
is that uh, you buy it directly from property developer,
Right.
and you have very very good payment plans. Payment
Mm.
plans can reach up to 7 years. It can almost become competitive, or even become more competitive than a current mortgages in a market.
Mm. Right.
So you can interest free take a payment plan and pay it off in 7 years. Second one is that you are investing exactly what you order, in a way that you get a brand new property at the end,
Right.
and you will be able to take advantage on potential price appreciation between the construction starting and the handover when you get the keys to the apartment or the villa or the property. So it's strategically a different strategy of
Right.
investing actually.
Mhm.
So at the moment we are funneling to off plan,
Right.
and we are getting a lot of people who think that they weren't ready, but when
Mm.
they understand off plan they actually change their minds.
Mm. Got it.
Yes, yes.
Excellent. And say what's your? I also want to know your demographic target audience. You said millennials are primarily the new breed of buyers, and also your regions. You said globally. So what regions are you active at today, and what are your aspirations to be in the future?
Actually, that's another very interesting one, because we started our initial testing segments. As we are a new startup, we are trying to find our product market fit. As
Right.
you know, that takes some time. But we had a very, very kind of good hunch on, based on the real estate sales data, who are the segments buying in Dubai and who are the people fitting in this kind of millennial digital segment.
Right.
So we realized that, of course, Indian investors in Dubai and UAE are still a very large segment. There is other
Mm.
new segments arising too. There is some European groups. Of course, there is the Arab kind of segments. Of course,
Mm.
we have the immigration recently happened through from Russia as well.
Right.
So what we have done now is that we have targeted most UAE and Indian markets, and a little bit on the European. However, what we see from our analytics, that people are already coming from about 45 countries.
Wow.
So there is a lot of people interested in this market, and they're coming through Asette now to look at what's available and what is there.
Got it. Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's now talk about, since this is a business podcast, without revealing a lot of your secret sauce. Why don't you talk a little bit about the business model? How does this work out? How do you make money on this and stuff like that?
Yes. Okay. Of course, without any fine detail, we have plans to monetize through our platform services,
Mm.
which is investor facing, of course. At the moment, we are completely free for all the investors coming through us, and we don't charge anything for our services at the moment. There is ways to monetize on that side, but also through our strategic partnerships with property developers, we
Right.
have other revenue streams as well. And but of course, now that we are developing a startup in a space which hasn't been done exactly this way before, It's a kind of hypothetical learning curve, of course, with the whole industry, and see where it might go. But definitely we have solid revenue streams already outlined from those two sides of the kind of
Got it.
supply and demand side.
So usually when you are not monetizing on the demand side and you are monetizing on the supply side, and you also mentioned to stay neutral, right? uh, how can you incentivize or disincentivize yourself from the pressures of, say, selling a certain builder if a builder is giving you great commissions, because your platform's reputation comes from being neutral and giving a neutral point of view, right? But the realities of business is growth, right? And then there are some builders who will send you really good opportunities with good margins and stuff like that. What's the plan? Like, how can you stay neutral and give true inputs to your customers?
I think it may sound hard, but it's as simple as Asette's values. The
Hmm.
values we have set for the company from the start is that we are an unbiased player in the market. This is
Hmm.
hugely big differentiator between us and pretty much anyone else in the market. And how
Correct.
we do it is that we do not surface any kind of commission structures anywhere in our daily operations.
Hmm.
And it is something that we put the investor, the end user, always first. And we scout, we source through our platform or also outside. If we don't find exactly today the right thing, we need to go and source what is best match for them.
Right.
And really, it is just the values we have established as a business is that this is a revolution. This is the revolution. What's coming is to say it has to be unbiased, and the decision has to be in the end users, the investors kind of hands. They need to make the decision, not us. We are impartial, we are unbiased, and of course we want to work with every single developer here regionally, anywhere in the world. More developers we have on a portal, more and more unbiased our operation will become. This is only the starting point, and that's where we're heading.
Got it. Got it. Excellent. You also mentioned that you are one of its kind. You're different, right? Could you help us understand how is the competition, and why would you say you are different? What makes you stand out from other? Maybe they're also buyers and sellers. They're not calling themselves investment portals. But help us understand, how do you stand out? How do you differentiate yourself from other players?
So our key competitive kind of edge now and differentiator is that we aim at personalization.
Hmm.
Actually, what we are really envisioning is called hyper personalization.
Hmm.
And it's about personalizing the investments for you specifically. And the same investment, what's recommended to you, will not be for anyone else in this case.
Right.
So, of course, someone else might buy the same property, fair. But when we are advising, or our system is advising, it advises based on your parameters. So one of the key differentiator is this road to personalization,
Got it.
and of course the automated analysis, which enables them completely seamlessly to move across these steps. It
Got it.
adds on to this kind of unique selling points.
Got it. So, an example, I mean, I'm sure you're building an MVP, but what would be a future example of hyper personalization? What does hyper personalization look like when
Yes,
you're investing in a property?
yes. So without giving out all of our secrets, I give you something more high level.
Hmm.
Um, it's about us knowing where you're from,
Hmm.
about what is your relationship to this country or city where you are
Wow.
investing.
Hmm.
What are your uh, what are the other triggers in the market that are related to you?
Right.
And we are now talking about not only about investment metrics or data. We are talking about segmentation, regulatory, legal, or any other considerations.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Nice. Now, again, very, very interesting to talk to founders who are building their business from scratch. Ideally, growth and getting early traction is the most important thing, isn't it? So why don't,
Yes.
and since we are a business podcast, why don't you give us some inputs, especially new entrepreneurs in the prop tech space who are listening to this? What are the kind of strategies that work for you? One of them is to come on podcast like ours, but then what are the avenues, what are the strategies for growth? I'm not even talking about scale now because you are still in MVP, but growth to get your early traction, to get the word out, especially new companies do not have infinite supply of marketing budget, right? So what
Yes.
strategies have worked for you? Is it through partnership, is it through word of mouth promotions? Maybe
Yes.
shed some light there.
So definitely, one thing what we did even before launching any products, really very important was our own market research.
Mhm.
A lot of research and analysis to try to understand that when we go out with the product into the market, that we have pretty good idea where are we going, either organically or paid. Where are
Mm,
we actually marketing? Where are we advertising? And this allowed us to be able to be more um, focused on our segmented target groups, for
mm,
example. So I think that has been one thing. Other one is a constant feedback collection through various channels. We get now a lot of feedback, sometimes very positive, sometimes not so positive, which is
mm,
absolutely amazing because
mm,
this is really one of the key aspects for us to say, okay, what does it mean for us as a product? We listen, we learn continuously, and we embed this feedback into our roadmaps to make
mm,
sure that the moment we put any more money in building the product, we know that we are going to comply with the market demand or the market needs. And
mm,
of course, huge aspect is to collaborate with other trusted partners, uh,
mm,
getting our supply partners on board from the developer side, but also being able to work with trusted, let's say, mortgage partners and be able to serve, although off-plan market doesn't allow us mortgages, they
mm,
used to do that a bit, not anymore because it's a bit more fragile market.
mm.
But as we move towards the ready built properties,
Right.
these kind of partnerships also play a huge role that we
Yeah,
can serve our customers better.
got it. Excellent. Let's talk about the market opportunity because let me ask you, when you began thinking about building this business, I'm sure this has been my case, this has been with so many entrepreneurs. When they are
Yes.
thinking about which business to start, there are many ideas I could do, especially when you came out of Karim. There will be, at least at any given point of time, a visionary founder has multiple ideas. Okay. And you identified building asset. I'm sure you did your market research, you saw the potential. So help us understand how big is the market opportunity for the space that you are in, especially in Dubai.
So currently, the overall off-plan market alone, but just in Dubai. Now we only talk about Dubai. Of
Yes.
course, this is because this is our testing ground. This is our launch pad. It was
Got
a
it.
very natural place to start because
Mm,
this is one of the most constructed off-plan markets in the world, and
got it.
regionally Saudi Arabia and all the neighboring countries. So
Mm,
it was very natural way. But the the 2022, the residential off-plan market alone was around $20 billion. And we are
no,
talking about quite a small market, UAE being like that.
right.
And but across the cities in UAE, it reaches up to about $40 billion.
Mm,
Yes, it's not in hundreds of billions, this local
mm,
market like that. But now, when we are talking about regionally, this is where it gets really interesting.
mm,
So, the plant construction Overall, within the GCC area, GCC meaning Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, Saudi Arabia, and UAE, the estimated market size is around $1.4 trillion in constructions for the years. Yeah, so and UAE only takes around 21% of that. So if we're looking at Saudi, what is happening there, this is like the significant market there now. But what we are saying is that new build construction within these regions, it's going to continue. Even in UK, even in Central Europe, there is fair amount of that construction. Like the millennial segment, what I mentioned before, in UK alone, they invested already in billions. So, but this is mainly about heritage money and other type of things. Because in UK, there's a lot of talk that no one can buy anything because everything's too expensive. But it looks like the off-plan market, in their own scope and scale, they are big markets still everywhere.
Excellent. Let's talk about how this space is evolving. You said hyper personalization is one of the aspects. Do you imagine, as a visionary founder, do you imagine how the space will evolve? Where will be the biggest disruptions going to be in the way people are buying and investing in properties?
We would hope that we have some hunch on that now. So definitely we have evidence that this segment we are talking about, the millennial segment, for the past couple of years, stimulated by the COVID, they have already bought properties remotely without seeing the properties. Basically, just online remotely. Right. So what we believe that the digitization is inevitable. It will happen. You get on the wagon or you don't, but it is going to come. And we believe that not only the millennial segment, but the Z segment, they are even more digitally savvy. However, they may be a little bit more cost conscious than millennials. But this means that AI in particular, what we use as well, and machine learning in our platform, is not just a buzzword. It enables certain business functions to do better. It's not about putting AI just to be a fancy startup. It actually solves problems what couldn't be solved as easily otherwise. So all of these technologies, including virtual realities and whatever, they are one way or the other going to play a role still moving, especially in the real estate in this industry, what I'm talking about, when digitizing these processes. So one day we hope and believe that you don't need to visit Dubai ever. You can stay in Munich and you can invest here with a peace of mind.
Nice.
Completely peace of mind. And this is really the objective here, is to drive us through the hyper-personalization, give you whatever you need to build this confidence and say, actually, I might as well invest in Dubai. Why I take a flight for 7 hours to go there, 8 hours? I don't need to. I can do it. And people are already moving to do that. In fact, we have proof from Asette already, people having done that.
Wow, nice.
Yes.
And it is also got to do with local policies, government policies that also enable players like you to make it much more seamless and easy, isn't it? It is.
Absolutely. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
UAE and Dubai in particular, where we are operating at the moment from, it's so flexible market now. Government is doing everything to help startups, especially in data and technologies, to be able to open doors to more flexible regulations, investment coming to the region, allowing more flexible way for us expats to start up businesses, even businesses which were only meant to be established by local people. So absolutely, there is so much encouragement in the region and in UAE and Dubai to start new innovative businesses, that we feel very lucky and blessed to be here at this time
Nice,
than
nice.
anywhere else in the world. Yes.
Excellent. Let's talk about, see, every building any business is a lot of challenges. All right. I mean, there are both highs and lows. Let's talk about a few of those. So while you are letting your MVP out, what has been, how many months have been in operations now since the idea to going live? Has it been
Uh,
like 8 months or a
yes.
year, or what's been the time
Uh,
frame?
we incorporated our whole, or like our business structure and our business licenses actually in June 22.
I see. Got it.
So anything what happened before June 22 was more about analyzing, nothing product related actually.
Got
It was more about assessing markets, analyzing, making some planning, and so on.
it. Got it.
We launched our proof of concept last autumn,
Mm,
October, November time.
got it.
And that was kind of simply a version what we have today, but still we collected a lot of insight and feedback during that phase. And then now only 3 weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago, we launched this minimum viable product.
Got it.
So now we are on a market in the next round of collecting feedback and understanding how we continue from here, building our roadmap further.
Got it. So
Um, yes.
in this journey of a year and a half, what has been the highs and the lows for you?
Always a lot of highs, a lot of low, fair amount of lows.
Mhm.
Um, we, I think, maybe the most nerve-wracking for any startup founder is after you have put your own funds into the business is to find funding, of course. And
Mm,
but we were very lucky that we found strategic investors who
right.
wanted to come on board and believe in Asette fully. They
Mm,
believe in this vision, they believe in this future, and they have come to support us. But of course, now that we have launched MVP, it's been a great milestone. Although we are learning a lot, we are now getting more publicity, we are getting more excitement from the industry.
right.
We have already established a small solid team. But of course, I'm not saying that building a technology company is easy, especially
Mm,
when it comes to machine learning, AI, and data. It's
mm,
super complex,
yeah.
and there is always something you can worry about.
Mm,
But it's the nature of any technology business, and I think many people don't talk about it at
mm,
all. We only show the glorious side of things, but this is the reality. There
yes.
is glitches, there is problems, there is errors, but you solve it and you move on. It doesn't
Yep.
really put you down, you just get more energy. Say, now we need to do better.
Got it.
Yes.
So you mentioned about your strategic investors. Do you like, so? And you said you put in your own money. So when you began, you bootstrapped it, and then you got some. Do you want to shed some more light there, or
um, I won't be able to go to numbers,
got it? Got
but it is, I can say that much. We haven't fundraised millions.
it.
It's in
Yeah,
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
got it.
And what we have managed to get and how far we have got to,
Mm,
relatively small funds,
got it.
we are very, very satisfied with the
Got
output.
got it.
Being able to generate revenue already and being here where we are today.
And primarily strategic investors, as in a VC fund, or it is a mix of VCs and angel investors together. How does it work out?
It's mainly been angel investors and very private investors,
Got
not families, not family funding,
got it.
everybody for more kind of serial angel investors.
Got it.
Yes.
You mentioned about the roller coaster ride of both the highs and lows, and it takes a special person and a special founder to go through this ride, right? What kind of personality or leadership traits that you think are your strengths as a leader, as a founder, that you think you are good at, and your team and everybody around you feel that you are this kind of a leader?
Maybe my team would answer this question better than me, but what I have seen, what they have told me, and what I've observed is that I think it's my energy and my enthusiasm and my continuous support for the team.
Mm,
Is I am the founder. I need to act as a founder. I
mm,
need to be there to support the team. We need to move on. We need to have a very strong vision, which we all are aligned on and we
mm,
all believe in it. So I think my strength has been to be able to keep our vision intact,
mm,
believe and translate that vision in more understandable format for all the team members, that we can all go together, and just a support for everybody and be able to act as this visionary leader really. And
mm.
I think that's it. Of course, I do a lot of hands-on work as well, so it's like wearing many hats and all that, so I'm kind of everywhere at all the time. So but yeah, I think it's the just the driving force, I would say.
Got it. Excellent. Well, how does now that we know everything about Asset, how does the next few years look like? Especially at this stage, it is way too early to imagine a bigger time horizon. But I'm just asking about the next 12 months or so. How does it look like?
So definitely next 12 months, we'll see a completely new platform for Asset
Mm,
being built.
right.
So from the product and technology side, 12 months will see us into very different reality with our product,
Got it.
which enables those things what I mentioned already.
Right.
And of course, we are already now on a huge revenue generation kind of a road,
Okay. Mhm.
and we want to be able to generate revenue so that we could even get closer to meeting our investment needs, so
Mm,
that we don't need to be in the future completely dependent on external investment. Of course, for the extreme, like a fast growth, we will need external investment, sure,
right.
but our own objective is also to become more self-sufficient in that way.
Excellent. Well, this brings us to the end of a very fascinating conversation with Leena. Leena,
Thank you.
thank you for
Thank you,
sharing
Ravi.
us with sharing us with the wealth of your wisdom and your startup story. And all the best for Asset. And we'll keep a keen eye on Asset. And we also hope to promote Asset on our platform that we are building, which I will have a separate conversation with you. But
Yes, very nice.
thanks again for your time with us.
Thank you so much, Ravi, and thank you everybody for listening. It's really exciting phase for Ravi as well, building a new platform for startups. Really interested to see what's there, but also for us here in Dubai on this journey. And thank you everybody for your support. This is very important for us founders, that people are interested in us. And thank you again. And hopefully we meet one day.
Yes, we meet again maybe in a year's time when you have moved to the next level and we have another conversation again. See you
Thank you.
around.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.